Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about what if episode 2, what if T'Challa became a Star Lord. And yeah, this is really cool, man. I really enjoyed the very first episode with Agent Carter. Now we got episode 2 here, which critics got to see, but some of us, less fortunate, did not. It would be cool if Disney sent me some links and stuff so I can review things early too, you know. But you know what? I love when I get to experience it with everybody else, so that's fine too. But I'm just saying, getting your reviews out early apparently is an important thing. I've given up on that recently. I'm just like, I'll get the reviews out when I get them out. And so let's talk about the spoiler review. By the way, warning before you go forward, this is going to be a spoiler review. I'm going to spoil stuff. So let's get right into it. Yes, T'Challa becomes the new Star Lord. Apparently, Yondu goes to Earth, and instead of abducting Peter Quill, he abducts T'Challa, once again voiced by the late Chadwick Boseman. We know already that this is going to be his final project that he was a part of. The showrunners already confirmed that he will appear in 4 episodes, and it was really nice to see that this episode was actually dedicated to him. It was great hearing him again, by the way, so I really thought that was so great throughout this entire episode, getting to focus on him a lot. And you can tell, like, he had a lot of fun doing this. Just the performance alone sounded like it was a different take on the character. And Kevin Feige was even saying this in an interview, how much he enjoyed playing that in a different way. Because, yeah, the whole point of What If is seeing these characters in different situations on how their lives could have gone. So they would be different characters in some essence. But there is still a core part of them that is still somewhat similar as well. They're still good. Sometimes they'll be good people, because I'll get to another character in a few minutes. But yes, I really liked how the beginning opening mirrored Guardians of the Galaxy. And right in the beginning, you think that this is going to be like episode 1, where Agent Carter was practically a scene-by-scene basis of Captain America the First Avenger, except you swapped Peggy and Steve around. In this, you would think that, it's going to be a remake of Guardians of the Galaxy. Instead of Peter Quill, it's going to be T'Challa. So are we going to see him in a relationship with Gamora, or are we going to see, we do get a couple of Guardians of the Galaxy characters in this. The Ravagers, of course. Michael Rooker returns to voice Yondu. I'll be doing a whole voice video. Again, just like I did, if you check out my previous video, I did a what if all the actors that returned for episode 1. I'll do one for episode 2, so I'm not going to get into all the actors that return. But Michael Rooker is a big part of this episode, because Yondu develops this bond with T'Challa, which was really interesting to see them bounce off each other. And because we do know that Yondu was like a father to Peter Quill, and to see him become a father to now T'Challa, a father figure to T'Challa, was really cool. And there was a really sad moment later on in the episode where Yondu tells T'Challa, or T'Challa tells Yondu, you're not my family. My family was back on Earth, or something like that. And it was kind of heartbreaking, because who Yondu is. He's kind of a rough, tough kind of guy, but deep down he does have a heart. And so you know that Yondu was like kind of heartbroken when T'Challa told him that. But I really did like seeing their dynamic together. It was really fun. Very different, a little bit different from Yondu and Peter Quill, because, Peter, he wasn't really happy with Yondu. He didn't hate him either. They just had their arguments, and they're just like any father and son sometimes probably would. Sometimes kids and their parents bump heads once in a while. Hopefully not for the worst kind. But there's some of us that, we have arguments with our parents, but sometimes we patch things up, and things are okay afterwards, because they're our parents at the end of the day. We gotta, we shouldn't be arguing with them. We should be we don't know how much time we got with them, and we should always love them because they brought us into this world. If we're fortunate enough to have those type of parents, so some people aren't that lucky, and Yondu, just like Peter Quill, right, with Ego. So yeah, it was really cool seeing that dynamic. But some of the bigger twists come later, because a scene later on, one of the first big crazy scenes, surprising scenes that we see is Thanos. And Thanos is, and as soon as we see him, we're like, what the heck? And because he's now good, apparently sometime in this timeline, T'Challa convinced him with some words of wisdom, I guess, to change his way of life. And Thanos was like, you know what, you're right, I am. So Thanos looks like he became a Ravager sometime in this timeline. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, how can that be? Well, 1988, if that's when Peter Quill was taken by Yondu in 1988, and this version, it was T'Challa, Thanos would be a villain still back at that period of time. So sometime between that and 20 years later, which is what it says, is that sometime Thanos and T'Challa ran into each other, and he convinced them, hey, look, you got to change your life because snapping out half the population ain't a good idea. It looked like Thanos. So you know what that means, right? That means that scene or when Tony and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and the Guardians of the Galaxy go to Titan to fight Thanos, they should have brought T'Challa along with them to talk him out of it. So Doctor Strange ain't the one that's going to talk Thanos out of it. T'Challa, that would have been the right choice. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And seeing Thanos and Nebula. Nebula was also in this episode, and she was fantastic too, because we got to see a flirtation going around, it looks like, between T'Challa and Nebula, which I thought was an interesting choice for the episode, because yeah, I guess he wouldn't fall in love with Lupita Nyong'o. It wasn't Okoye. Okoye did appear in the episode, but that wasn't her. I forgot. Nikita. He wouldn't have fallen in love with her. He would, developed a new relationship, and I guess that relationship would have been with Nebula. And it was interesting seeing this new dynamic between Thanos and Nebula, that even though she still had his issues with him because I guess of what he did in the past, he was a changed man now, and T'Challa was trying to get her to realize that. And there were moments in the episode where I was even wondering, is she good? Is she bad? Because there was a moment where it looked like she might have been bad, but then they show you the real revelation of that, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. It did make me wonder, though, what about Gamora? What's up with her? Because she was kidnapped by Thanos in 1987, according to one of the guidebooks that Marvel released in 2018 or 19. It confirms that Gamora's planet was destroyed in 1987, which means she should have already been kidnapped by Thanos by that point. What happened to her? Are we going to find out in a later episode? Are these episodes going to tie in together somehow, or are certain episodes going to tie into certain episodes leading us to the finale? I don't know. I do find it really cool and really fascinating either way. I do want to also say we do get to see Drax. I don't know if I mentioned him already. Drax does show up in this episode, and it was a little off to me, the voice, because I could tell it wasn't Dave Bautista. Not even close. I guess Dave Bautista has one of those rare, distinct voices that only he can do. Sometimes there's really good spot-on voice actors, but in this case, I thought the one for Drax, I wish they kind of got Dave Bautista back. He said that Marvel didn't reach out to him, but according to the showrunner, they did reach out to him. There must have been some miscommunication or something. So hopefully for a season 2. And you know what? Dave Bautista, if you're listening to this, at least you don't have to take off your shirt while doing a voice. So no excuses for coming back for the What If series, if that's the case. What else? So we do have the characters go and eventually confront the Collector. The Collector is the big bad in this episode, and the Collector he's very redesigned. He has a very new look. He's bigger, muscular, and more tough. I didn't realize that that was Benicio del Toro's voice because it didn't sound like him at all, but it was him when I checked the credits. I'm like, wow, that I didn't even know. I thought it was some bad voice manipulator or whatever trying to do his worst impression, and then I find out, oh no, it was Benicio del Toro. So I'll have to go back in the episode to because it did take me out of it a little bit since he was a little off character. He was more crazier in this episode, so I might have to go back and rewatch it now knowing that. But for what it's worth, I thought he was cool looking, and it was cool when Yondu and T'Challa went after him. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. For the most part, once again, I thought the animation was great, so that's really cool. I know I had a talk with my brother who said he didn't like the animation, but I think the animation looks great, and it sounds like most people are agreeing. Even people that are a little disappointed with the show, like, or the first episode at least, admit that the animation in the show looks great. I also thought the little tag at the very end of the episode, after we get a little resolution with T'Challa and uniting both his Ravager family and his Wakandan family together, which was really nice. We do get a little stinger at the end with Peter Quill. We get a little glimpse of what happened to him, not voiced by Chris Pratt, but we do hear Kurt Russell, who is voicing Ego, and Ego obviously having plans, and the Watcher says maybe this might not turn out as well because of this situation. And it made me say, I want to see what happens next in this world. And I have a feeling we are going to get back to that storyline. I just have a feeling, because we do see T'Challa Star-Lord in clips in the trailers in other episodes. It looks like there's that episode that looks like they all unite. Maybe not, but we'll see. But it looks like that could be the case eventually down the line. And maybe I'm just speculating too much, and maybe it won't turn out that way. Or maybe I'm right that maybe we will go back and forth between worlds leading to the finale. So I don't know. Other than that, yeah, this was a really good episode. I am super in on this show. I'm one of the people that enjoyed last week's episode a lot, and like the complainers, I was like, what are people talking about? This show is great. And now this episode takes us to the next level, and I'm loving it. And I hear the third episode, a lot of critics said this episode and the next episode were either their favorite. Some said this episode, some people said the next episode was their favorite. So I'm very excited to see what episode 3 is going to bring now. But yeah, getting to see this and knowing that we're going to get more Chadwick Boseman in 3 more episodes down the road, that's going to be really exciting. So with that being said, guys, tell me what you thought. Did you enjoy episode 2 of the What If series? Comment below. Tell me. Let's start a discussion and get people talking about this. I'm curious about what other people's thoughts are. My last week's video didn't get no comments. What's up, people? Come on. I'm reviewing this. You gotta get into this nerdy stuff with me. I want to find my fellow nerds. With that being said, there is a Patreon page. I have a Patreon page where 4 subscribers are supporting this channel. You can also be a supporter of this channel by donating a $5 tier or $10 tier, whichever one you want, basically to just help support, and you will get an on-screen credit like you're seeing right now, along with these great people. I'll just add your name to the list as well. And yeah, these people are awesome. They are great. They want to help me succeed and grow and become better at what I'm doing, and that can only happen if I get support on my side. And the fact that I have 4 people, I'm telling you, I never thought when I started this, I didn't think I'd get 1. So the fact that I got 4 is really cool and really humble to me. And I really appreciate those subscribers for subscribing to my Patreon page and helping me out. Hopefully one day we'll see how we'll get a fifth person. But for now, hey, it is what it is, and I appreciate that because, like I said, I didn't think I even get one when I started. So the fact that I got four is really awesome. So thank you to my Patreon supporters. You people are awesome. Thank you very much. With that being said, I hope you guys can like and subscribe to this channel too, because that also helps the channel grow, especially when you like and watch every video that I post up. That helps a lot. And share a link, because get people aware of this channel, and try to get more people on board, because the more people we get, the more I'll grow, and I want to grow. I want to get bigger and better and more noticed. Because nobody wants to be a small potato channel forever, right? So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. It really is awesome when my videos, I get comments from people telling me, hey David, you're doing a great job, keep going, stuff like that. That's always amazing to me. It shows that there's really cool people out there, so thank you. And with that being said, until next time, everybody, take care.